You know what I've been telling people? I said, all right, check this out. I'm going to help you out. This is what you should do. Go find you a good job. And if you can't find a good job, find a job that has a lot of overtime. Create the lifestyle that you want from this money. You want to run around Hellcats? Get a job that can afford a Hellcat. So now, all your quarterly trips you want the white toenails for your chick and the Jordan 1 picks, get a good job for that. So now we can get back to the love of the music, so the music won't suffer. We won't have to hear y'all carrying on social media. Yo, that's messed up, dog. Nah, make good music, not from a place of money, and watch what happens.
Nah, facts.
Watch what happens. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the way I feel about it, personally. So,
that's how I kind of, like, when I started getting into that mode for shadowboxing, man, I was feeling like that, too. I was like, it was getting foggy for me at the time. Like you said, not making it about money, and like my man Luck said, when it comes time for you to actually do something and it go, and you like, okay, it almost feels performative at that point, like people waiting on you and people like, like what you gonna do next? And I got a little caught up in that. And just from like linking with y'all, like I done told y'all, man, like just genuine energy and being around people who on the same wave, doing the same thing you trying to do, it pours into you another type of way, and that just kind of helped me break loose from that. Because I was down, I was in a little.
I was gonna ask you, do you feel pressure?
Yeah.
Did you feel pressure?
Yeah,
like
I
living
did.
up to what Chubby has done already?
Yeah, and at the same time, I got this other voice in the back of my head that's like, you ain't done nothing. But I also feel pressure because it's just like I feel like I have established at least a reputation.
No, you have
through my music. So it's just like, I don't want to let people down that's counting on me to get these vibes that I provide, but it's like, it's got to come from a real place. I can't.
What most artists do, mainstream artists, from what I've learned, they give you, at least during the era, I'm 44. So in our era, you have to live with an album for like a year or two. You know what I'm saying? So what they did was they gave you their all, and then they go on hiatus. They go live life. Then they come back and give you what it was that they lived. And that's how I think music should be created. Unless you just have that little Wayne thing in your mind to where you just, all right, cool, then do it. But nah, go live life. And I think you mentioned your album, which is why we're here, Shadowboxing. I think what you did with those first 4 songs, you showed that. Living up to other people's expectations is one thing. But living up to your own, I got to take care of me first. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm taking care of me, that means I'm going to be the best husband, the best father, the best friend, so forth and so on. People pour from an empty cup, and then they sit there and be like, well, nah, I don't. Look, take care of yourself, man. And so, again, with the album, I noticed that. Like, the first 4 songs with Maurice taking care of himself.
The
last 4, and, dude, the first line. As soon as I heard the first line, I cut it off and I called Luck. I said, Luck, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I don't even think Luck heard it yet. And he's like, yo, I gotta go check this shit out. So, I want to start from, I was talking to my family on the way yesterday. I was like, yo, how do y'all think I should start this conversation? Should we start from the bottom up or the top? Because with Luck, we started from the top and we went all the way through. I want to start from the bottom because you opened the album with such a, it was a cringing moment, but it was like, oh shit, let me sit up my chin. That moment I was contemplating. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm glad that translated.
Oh, no, it did. And I paused it. I cut it off. I was like, whoa. So, but then at the end of the project, though, it's like you put a bow on it. You put all right. He's like, all right, I'm back to myself again.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional or not.
Yeah, the crazy part is, all right came first.
I'm good at what I do.
Nah, me and Luck had that, because when I heard it,
first.
me and Luck broke the project down. I'm like, Luck, he was like, Mo, because that's the first song, it doesn't mean that was the first one he recorded.
It felt like now that I've dealt with it, now I'm like, all right, now I'm back up off the canvas, like we can keep fighting now. Now it's like, okay, now I can show everybody, because I done beat it now. You know what I mean? And that's what I tend to do with a lot of things in my life. I'll bury some stuff and kind of fight with it in my corner, and then once I'm over it, I can come out and love everybody like I need to again. And that's what I had to do with my music, you know. And it just, I don't know. I'm glad that y'all can feel that. That's crazy.
Nah, dude, I genuinely love this music thing. You know what I'm saying? And it makes it so much more real when I can call the person, or I can meet up with the person. We can have a conversation away from the camera. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because I'm in a space now, I want to know why people chose the lyrics that they chose. Now, I really want to have those conversations. Like, when you look at R&B, what made you we was listening to Tevin Campbell the other night, and it was a point where we all know that song. What's that popular Tevin Campbell song?
I'm ready.
Can we talk?
Right. We all know the song, right? I never read the lyrics though. I was literally sitting in bed and I read the lyrics, and I'm looking at it like, hold up, Babyface wrote this. I don't even have to look at the credits, but I know Babyface wrote this. So when I'm looking at it and going through, I'm like, this is Babyface all day long. Look at the credits, it was Babyface. So now I'm like, okay, I went down Babyface's discography. I'm like, that's Babyface, I could tell. All these songs sound the same. So that's why I'm so fixated with lyrics now. I'm like, what's that thing?
Figuring out people's signature.
Yeah. Even I want to know what made him say, and then he went down, then he hit it again. And I'm like, what made him say that versus just running that, just going all the way through? So again, I really enjoy this music shit. I wanted to be a rapper, I can't rap. I wanted to be a DJ, I'm not that coordinated. You understand what I'm saying? I'm 6'6", I'm not that coordinated. You understand what I'm saying? So again, but with All Right, why did you feel that it was necessary to put the bow on it at the end of the EP?
Because like I said, man, when it felt like I had finally won it, you know, and I finally came out on the other side of it, then going back and peeling back the layers and revealing why I was going through all this. Because I was gone for so long. I mean, it wasn't like people didn't know. It was just, you know, and I would constantly, I had people hitting me up talking about doing features and different family stuff I got going on. It just felt like I was hiding from everybody, and I was like, okay, it's time to get to the bottom of like, why you feeling like this? Why are you being so stagnant? Like, whereas it seems like it's like I had myself shackled with a bunch of stuff, man. And it was a lot of the stuff was like, you know, dealing with financial struggles and stuff like that, trying to figure out, you know, I'm a husband, so it's like I feel the pressure of me trying to figure it out, not just for myself but for her. I'm responsible for her.
You're the head of the house.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, what I'm gonna do about this, you know, is this just gonna be some little thing that I can just throw out on the side, or is it something I can really put all of my, you know, my heart and soul into, and we can actually reap some benefits from it? You know, and I stopped looking at it like that and started just like, you know what, I'm just gonna say whatever comes to me, you know, and just, you know, feel my way through it and share it with everybody, and it worked out. Like, I think I've gotten more positive review from this and more actual with people going in depth and studying it.
Right.
I've gotten a lot more of that from this project than any other project.
Because the two songs on the project that are streamed the most is Embiid and Shadowboxing. And Shadowboxing, don't get me wrong, it's one of my favorites, but it's not my favorite. My favorite is Weatherproof.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crucial.
Yeah.
That right there.
That's tough. That one's
it's
tough.
mean. You
That
understand what I'm
one's
saying?
tough.
Don't get me wrong. Shadowboxing set the tone. Like, oh shit, okay, we about to go on a roller coaster. Let's go ahead and dim the lights a little bit. Let's get comfortable. You understand what I'm saying? Then we went to, I was like, oh man, Weatherproof. That's where it's at right there for me. You know what I'm saying? So why do you think people connect to Shadowboxing and Embiid? Two different songs. Sound sonically totally different.
Yeah. I think it's because, well, with Shadowboxing, it was just so, like you said, that first bar, it was just so, okay, like, this is no acting, this is no funny
This
shit.
is a punch in the nose.
This is what
like,
I'm really going
right.
through. This is it. You know, and like, I think they pulled a lot of people into the realness of it to where they could relate to me. You know what I mean? I got a lot of people hitting me up saying, oh man, I've been going through some shit too. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you do it for. You know what I'm saying?
Was that strategic, or you was just that wasn't
In a way,
Okay.
but at the same time, it was just me bearing my own. But it felt good to know that it resonated with somebody else that was going through it, because I feel like we all help each other through shit
Absolutely.
by just working through your own stuff and putting that good energy out, despite everything you go through. So, and then Embiid was just, the energy with Embiid was just, man, we had fun in here doing that, man. It was just,
Yeah, 'cause I'm like,
I knew that was gonna have some energy to it because it was too much fun making it. You know, it was just, and then my man came up on the spot. It was just, I don't know, it was perfect. That's just like a little, that's just some good energy. I think that's why people like Embiid so much. But Shadowboxing definitely was the one that reeled people in and made them like, listen, like you said, sit up and like.
I wasn't. When I went to this project and I looked at the cover art, right? I believe a lot in cover art. We just had a whole conversation about it, right? For me, if your cover art doesn't look good in Times Square, scrap it and start over. If it doesn't look good next to that Gucci campaign, the Under Armour campaign, the Gatorade, scrap it. So when I saw your cover art, I'm like, okay, this is him further feeding into the moniker of Chubby Senxei, right? You know what I'm saying? Shadowbox and whatever. I said, okay, this is him feeding into it. But when you hit play, it was totally different. Now I had another understanding of the cover art. Like, oh, these are his demons that he's dealing with right here. Oh, okay, so that's where that came into play for me.
And then it was what the way the cover was. It was because my other ones it's like more so of the character, and with this one it's more. It's still the character, but this is me wearing my World Series champions hat and my black hoodie. It's just me. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's me. Almost putting the moniker down for a second. Like, hey, I'm still Maurice behind all the Chubby Senxei shit. So I felt like this was my first project being Maurice.
And again, was that intended? Like I said, the first 4 songs was Maurice. The last 4 songs was like Chubby, and then you even ease yourself into going back into Chubby because we can look at 10 Toes with featuring Rello, right? We can look at that like, okay, this is still that because Rello's that type of artist. I think Rello drink alkaline water all day and water his plants with alkaline water. I think like he's just a vegetarian. I just think he eats air. I just think that's what he does.
He's living a good one, man.
Yeah, he's just a real, you know what I'm saying? He's a real like earthy type of guy. And so when you think about Rello's almost artistry, let's say artistry, I'm like, yeah, that's a good segue. Then you go in 10 Toes, okay, cool. Then we're over here at where we at the 10 Toes. Then we're what's at the 10 Toes?
10 Toes, Real Rappers Only.
No, I don't think no. You got 10 Toes, Real Rappers Only, and B. Then you all right? Okay.
Yeah.
I think MB was next. I think MB, Real Rappers, then all right. I think that's how it goes. I'm like, okay, I like the gradual progression here. You know what I'm saying? I like where you did that.
My track list better than you.
Dude, it's 24 minutes of joints. You understand what I'm saying? Again, I really do enjoy what it is that I do. So when we get to, again, if we're working up, then we get to Real Rappers Only. You issued a challenge. I was surprised that most people took on the challenge.
Yeah.
Like, I think it blew
I
your
ain't
way a
gonna
little
lie
bit.
too. Yeah. It surprised me because I know doing something like that is just gonna be hard for one. I was thinking like in terms of I guess trying to anticipate how my peers would look at it. It's like who you think you are type of moment. And okay, let me step up and show you. Like let's trade blows a little bit, you know. And everybody who did submit and went crazy, a lot of people did. Like Dots went crazy, Bless went crazy, Love went crazy. Everybody just went hard, man. Everybody that really, I ain't gonna say everybody went, you know what I'm saying, because we're gonna be honest.
They attempted.
But the fact that they stepped in and made that moment with me, you know what I mean? So I appreciate everything. I appreciate every submission. And it was just, man, that was a moment. I felt like I want to keep that going.
I was one of the first niggas that did it. I was one of the first. I remember, I think I reached out to him like, hey, send me the beat so I can really listen to it and write to it.
Okay, we official then.
And you know what? I like that right there because with Luck being who he is and everyone else that contributed and participated, you're not too high on your horse to where you, because this thing is about hip hop. Like if you love this thing, that's why I was surprised because you have a lot of indie artists that are so caught up with I'm not getting paid for it. I'm a talker. You tell me to talk. I don't need a camera. Let's go. And if you are a rapper, I expect the same thing.
Exactly.
Rap.
You
understand what I'm saying? To say that you don't want to do this, why? I don't understand that. And out of that, I think we got, thus far, we're at the 6-month mark. I think we got one. I'm at 2 verses right now for verse of the year, thus far, and Dots is one of them.
Yeah, he got busy.
Dots is one of them. The
Dots
other one,
get busy on the regular. Though,
that's just, dude. I was at an SC Lo-Fi. My man had to tell him not to rap. I had to tell him to stop.
You got to take
like, you got to, seriously, like you got to stop. He was like, I think he just walked out after that and came back and cooled off. But 1 or 2 of the best verses thus far for me this year is Dots on Real Rappers Only and Max Goods on The Declaration with Docs on the 7th day. Those are my 2 favorite verses this year right here. So
that was a good project too. I told him that, man.
Me and Doc spoke about it. Honestly, y'all 2 albums right now are neck and neck for album of the year so far for me. At least hip hop. If we're talking R&B, I'm leaning towards TC with The Voices. You know what I'm saying? Those are my top projects right now in the year. But we still got 6 months to go.
Good
so
company,
no, it's good company. I'll be honest with you. And me and Doc spoke. Doc like, nah, I ain't lying. He up there. He here. You know what I'm saying? So even speaking of that, how do you think you're viewed by your peers?
Like I said, I feel like I have a reputation, so I feel pressure from that. Believe it or not, I feel pressure from all of y'all. And it's just only because me and Keem, man, we so the same on a lot of ways and stuff. And when I can see myself in another artist, it's like, okay. It's like, you know when you comparing toys as a kid, like, oh, I got this one, oh, I got, you know what I mean? It's like, that's how I connect with people. I feel like, you know, and when I feel like other people are really able to express their thoughts the way I do, it gets me excited. It's like I get excited with intelligence in other people. So it's just with me coming with music, like I become a fan, like everybody else. You know, I dive in and I'm like, man, like.
So even with you being an artist, you're not even hell bent on not still being a fan. You're okay with going up to somebody, be like, yo, I love your project.
Absolutely, I feel like you have to. In order for you to create music in a pure way, you can't lose that fan aspect of it. You can't remove yourself.
Like, how many people suffer from that?
Man, that's. I mean, to me, that makes sense.
No,
you know?
It doesn't make sense to me either.
Yeah.
I'm not that. Like, if I see another whoever does with whatever it is that I do, someone else, like, yo, I'll tell you, like, yo, you killed that. Good question. I wish I would have asked that question. Damn, that was a good question. You know what I'm saying? So to back up that question, your peers, I actually reached out to a few of them and asked them what they thought about you.
Oh man.
Some said anonymous, others said nah, tell them my name. So I'm gonna read one to you. Chubby raises the bar. His intricacy and original delivery never disappoints. Not many indie artists is doing it at the level he does it. This new project is a connecting vessel to the listeners. There's so much relatability and vulnerability in it. That's from Doc from Respect and Salute. And he's one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's Doc. I'm gonna read you another one. I'm gonna read two more. As an artist, he's definitely dope. Got a really dope flow. He writes hooks really well, with a lot of rappers typically don't do. And his most recent project is amazing. I have absolutely no critique with the artist. His ability to make music is clearly superior to a lot of his counterparts and should be considered as a rapper's rapper.
That rapper's rapper part.
He said his only critique is he wants you to be more involved into things that's going on as far as events. Ultimately, he wants to see you more. That's all. That's all he's saying.
I try to get outside when I can.
And this is the last one. I feel that Chubby is a breath of fresh air. His lyrical ability is to be respected as one of the best that we've heard coming out of the upstate. Luck.
That charged me up right there. I appreciate that, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Those are your peers right there. And honestly, there's a couple more. We'll talk about it. I mean, it was still good nonetheless. Chemo has something to say about you. Good company as well. You know what I'm saying? Do you think hip hop is a contact sport then? When it comes down to that, you stepping in the booth or you're in the studio as we are right now, and you're sitting next to someone that you know that pen is just as sharp as yours. Do you look at it as a contact sport?
Yeah, I do, man. I like sparring. I like going bar for bar and us, seeing what we got. But the only thing is for me, I like to do that without getting into the malicious stuff, getting into the extra, like personal, like we can't rap beef or something like that. But like as long as we just like on some iron sharpens iron type stuff, I love that, man. I love it. But at the same time, like I was saying earlier, like I feel pressure from my peers, but at the same time, like in those moments, like decisions we done had in those moments, I had to bring myself down and be like, you know what? Like, this is wordplay. Look, this is days, but I'm chubby. Like,
I deserve to be in it.
You're supposed to gotta remind yourself of that shit.
Like if you got the phone call, that means you're supposed to be in.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? But look, you said that you don't feel like hip hop is a contact sport.
I feel like it's I don't feel like it's a sport. I feel like it's competitive, but I don't feel like it's a sport because it's very objective.
In a way that you can't win.
In a way that you can't win. It's barbershop talk. Is you know what I'm saying? You chilling with the homies. It's just talk. It ain't no championship ring. It ain't no scoreboard. There's no like undisputed winner in it. It's all opinionated. You know what I'm saying? You have, like I told him, I said you have some people out here, it ain't a lot, but you have some people out here that say Jay-Z is one of the worst rappers ever. Right. And those same people will say Gucci Mane is the greatest rapper alive. It's all subjective. So nobody can win. You just have to make sure that in your circle, your pool, your community of people is that when you walk in the room, it's, hey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get those looks, you get those things, and that lets you know that where you're at on the totem.
I think it's a way to keep that balance, though. You can definitely keep that balance. You can have like I know it's no way to win, but when niggas get busy, I know you got me.
Yeah,
I know you got me.
And I appreciate that.
Right.
I want you to be like,
Right.
nah, you got me.
Yeah,
Right,
and
right,
that starts the barbershop talk. When you in there, like, hey, yo, nigga, Chubby and Luck was on that record. I think Chubby got Luck on that one.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
how it started.
Luck don't lose that much, but I think Chubby, and you know, and that's how it goes.
Right.
You know, and then you have somebody over here with, nah, bro, you remember
I called
such
him
and such
before with
said
that.
that.
I told him on The Perfect Villain, I was like, yo, I ain't gonna hold you on Asylum. Sway got you on that one right there. You know what his response was? I'm glad she was able to do that on my project.
Yeah.
100%.
And I was like,
that's
Bro,
how
I'm glad that you respect me enough to go crazy. I'm glad that you respect me to go crazy like that. Same thing with Chemo.
You and go crazy.
Same thing with Chemo.
Conversation as well. Yeah.
Listen,
Steve
if I get on Chubby record, I'm going bananas because I know what he bringing to the table.
Right. And we're going to move the needle that way. We're going to move the needle. Even for whoever here, they're going to be like, yo, them two guys, they went at it. They ain't spared no lines. You know what I'm saying? So do you think because you're from the outskirts, right? I look at Greenville, the upstate, almost like 5 boroughs in New York. You know what I'm saying? Typically, Rochester, Staten Island, in some cases, they feel some kind of way. They're not mentioned within. But they even tell you that you're not from New York if you're not from the boroughs, for the most part, right? Kai actually went on a rant about that. With you being from the outskirts of the upstate, do you feel that you got to work as hard?
Yeah, to put a chip on my shoulder.
Really?
Come on,
What,
man.
so what have you been met with for you to feel that way? Because I saw West Side say that.
I just want to show. Like that, so you gotta pop out and show niggas, man. I just want y'all to know, bro. It's so much. The thing about the upstate is that it's so much heat here.
Yeah.
It's so many serious artists that have really, really great developed sounds, and there's some great wordsmiths, and it's just I want to do my part by creating that demand for it to where everybody gets looked at. You know what I'm saying? Like that's in the back of my mind. Like you saying, like it's not a win. Like it's a winless sport. Like that to me, that's how you win by you building up your legend enough to where you can cast some light down and pull somebody else up.
Wow.
That's how I feel about it.
That's a quote right there.
That's a ball.
Yeah,
that's a ball. That's
a
what it's about. It's not about I'm the undisputed, but no, when I walk in, if I'm able to,
because
if I can reach my hand out.
Like when you talk about the barbershop conversations, a lot of time when people talk about ghosts and people who are most influential, how do you gauge that?
What's the metric?
Who you put on?
Correct.
Who you brought up with you? What empire did you create? You know what I'm saying?
Or who did you go to war with?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's your battle scars?
You know what I'm saying? What have you done?
So what was it that you heard to make you have that chip on your shoulder for you to come in whenever you do touch the upstate? I guess you would say the central area of the upstate.
I guess I just, even growing up, being a fan of hip hop in the South, you hear it all the time in the music of the people that you look up to. Oh, they don't respect the South, or they don't think we got pens in the South, and it's just like. But if you grew up listening to people in the South, you know better. So it seems like when someone thinks about lyricism, they still don't think about South Carolina. They don't think about North Carolina. When it comes to lyricism, other than J. Cole, but everybody from North and South try to claim him, and it's like, who else? I just want to be able to put my face up there and be like, I'm one of those guys in the conversation.
I think that conversation is changing. I think that because what we call lyricism, you're talking more so in the 90s, early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
What we call lyricism and just being lyrical nowadays is totally different. Like it took for someone to tell me Moneybagg Yo raps. And I'm like, huh? He ain't rapping. Then when I took out the time to listen, I'm like, oh, hold on. This dude rapping his ass off right now. Hold on. So when you look at Moneybagg Yo, when you look at The Baby, I just wish he'll slow it up a little bit. But he can rap.
Yeah.
Like rap.
He can go.
Yeah, he can go. When you look at people like early Little Baby, when you look at Rhapsody, when you look at Little Brother, when you look at y'all, shit, y'all a prime example. Like you, Luck, Keem, are you a rapper by any chance?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
So when you think about how many rappers have been in here, I've been in a few sessions in here, and they're not in here. They're not doing that. They're rapping, and I'm sitting there like, oh my god. And that's for me. That's my job, and where I find joy at with telling people that. Like, nah, check out Chubby. Nah, check out Luck. Nah.
And having that trust attached to it.
Right.
Because if you appreciate what you say you appreciate, you're going to love this.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel introducing people to my peers, people that I actually
because you know your reputation is on the line.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like if Mo say check out this music, okay, that
and
means
it's some one.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm a feel away. You gonna feel away, man.
It has to be reputable.
Yeah,
You have to be a reputable source to be like, yo, nah, he's one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I enjoy doing. I genuinely enjoy doing that right there. So we're at this point 10 toes. What made you want to get Rello on 2 tracks on an 8-song EP? What made you want to get Rello on 2 tracks?
It was just timing. It wasn't even necessarily that part was strategic. For one, me and Rello long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah,
He's
we
different.
got
He's like a
music
Marshall.
together
He's
anyway.
different rapper.
Yeah, it was long overdue, and I was like, man, it's about time. And then when I felt the energy of that track, I was like, I can hear him doing his thing all over this. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna shoot it to him. And then with the Real Rappers Only thing, the original plan was to have a lot more people come and be on the album version, but because of whatever happened, Dots and Rello were the only people that actually pulled up, so they're the only people that actually got to get on the album version. And that's not like to exclude anybody on purpose. It just it is what it is. You know, it was just good timing, and it worked out great, man. Dots went crazy, Rello went crazy. I mean, the energy was there. It just happened to fall in place like that with those 2 tracks.
Okay, now I'm straight, right? So when I listened to this right here, I was like, I wonder what's the importance of the Kanye soundbite. This is like really the only. You had a quick soundbite at the top of one song. I can't remember what it was. You had a quick soundbite.
Nah, I'm straight. Enough.
There was another one. It could have been a producer tag. I'm not sure, but it was a quick soundbite you had later on in the project. But I'm like, why did he choose Kanye West for this to be the only soundbite on Nah I'm Straight?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because that's how I was, like I said, the things that I was battling with, what he spoke on was something that I was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You got to create from a place of love and a place of purity. You can't really be trying to make something for the purpose of impressing somebody, for the purpose of trying to convert somebody into consuming whatever your product is. Like now, you just got to create it from a real place and put some real energy into it, and people will have no choice but to resonate with it. It is what it is.
And when I heard that project, and this is again, we've said it already, it's the first time we've met in person, but we had many conversations on the phone, text, live, all that right there. But when I heard Nah I'm Straight, I said, I feel like this is his personality. I feel like opportunities come to you all the time, and for whatever reason, you be like, nah, I'm straight, I'm here on that. For whatever reason.
Yeah.
Because even in the song, All Right, I think you alluded to you're in demand, but the reason why you're in demand because someone else said no or something that nature?
Oh no! I said they only call when you're harder to reach.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So then when I hear Nah I'm Straight,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, here's a correlation.
Yeah,
Here's the correlation right here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's almost like you look at those calls and be like, nah, I'm good. So when I heard Nah I'm Straight, I said, this has to be this nigga personality right here. You know what I'm saying? Because you do seem very nonchalant. You do seem, I will say, if I'm being honest, sometimes even unenthused. Right? And when I came with that unenthused, I was like, then when I heard the project, I said, oh, selfish me. Selfish me. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't take in consideration what people are going through.
yeah.
It's hard to separate the artist and the person when you met the artist. You know what I'm saying? Us as consumers, we just want what we want. We want the new music. Okay, you're going through something? Put it in music.
Yeah.
Let's go. You understand what I'm saying? And I had to call myself out on that. I'm like, all right, I'm being selfish.
Yeah, it's not always as simple as you just say.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as I have people call me all the time, like, yo, Mo, can you write something for me as an article? I don't feel it. You understand what I'm saying? It literally has to be a feeling. I got to be that excited to the point where the pen moves by itself. There's no thought. Because when you start to think, just go ahead and ball it up, throw it away.
Yeah.
So I had to check myself on that one right there when I heard the project. I'm like, because I've called you, text you like, yo, put this song out. Put this song out. God damn it. Put this out. And again, I had to call myself. So let me say I apologize on camera for that one right there as well. So then we were at Wishful Thinking. You had a few lines that just stood out. You know, every song, every good song, in my opinion, has those standout lines. Like Nipsey, everybody can't go. May not remember the rest of the goddamn song, but we know we said that shit right there, right?
Yeah.
And you had on Wishful Thinking, you was like, still struggling. I'm like,
Yeah.
why is he repeating this right here? Wishful Thinking, of course, I get the concept of it. But what were you going when you actually recorded that?
With that, it was how I was feeling at the time. That's really where I was at. It was just, you know, scrolling, doom scrolling. You know, you sit up there, you're looking at all this.
Oh, what do you call
all
it?
this
Doom scrolling? I never heard that. What's that?
Yeah. When you get distracted to the point where you're losing time and you're not even realizing it. But you seeing all these highlight reels of everybody's life and all this, and, you know, in the back of your mind, you know better, you know it's bullshit, but at the same time, seeing it all the time, constantly, all the time, and looking at your four walls and like, shit, what am I doing with my time? You know, it starts to make you dive into that part of it, but it's just learning to master it and learning to be like, you know what, all of your circumstances are of your own creation. So it's like, if you're not happy with your position, then you need to start applying your thoughts towards how you're gonna get out of it. You know, be more solution based and less problem based. You know,
Absolutely.
that's the only way to kind of get through that. But yeah, the wishful thinking was just me expressing that. You know, like you might look around and see all this with everybody. You know, damn, I wish I had that. Wish I grew up with some rich parents. Wish I ain't have to bust my ass to be the first person in my family to graduate high school. Be the first, you know. And sometimes, you know, stuff like that don't even seem like a big milestone, but when you're the first person in your family, it's like, whoa,
That's a big deal.
that's where we starting at. You know what I'm saying? Like, really getting everything out the mud. Like, it's just hard. It's hard. And that wishful thinking creep into your mind a lot. But it's just letting people know you're not alone. We all want what we can't have, but you got to appreciate what you got.
Absolutely. In order to get more, you definitely have to appreciate that. And then you had another catchy line on Weatherproof again, which I would say my favorite song. Because you said a storm's coming.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right, he did that on the second joint. Did it. I'm like, what is he trying to tell us? You understand what I'm saying? And it could just be me diving too deep into the whole catalog.
Well, Weatherproof is just like me, pretty much, just like in life. You know what I mean? Like, just because I said like where I came from and, you know, how we grew up and stuff. It's like, you know, you're saying, oh, storm coming. Like, oh, man, it's finna get bad. It's like, can't get much worse than it is now. I think we'll make it. We weatherproof. I think we're going to get through it. You know what I'm saying? Just because of everything we've dealt with up to this point. That's what it was. Just kind of showing that, you know, that struggle gives you a certain layer of armor.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a callus.
Yeah.
It's a necessary callus that you have to equip you for the rest of life. And there was something that you said. It was a reoccurring. I'm not too sure if you would call that the chorus line. You were saying something about layaway. I'm tired of struggling, paying layaway.
Yeah.
I've got me
sick
crying.
Sick of paying on layaway. Got me crying on
808s.
Yeah.
I was like, I rewinded that. I was like, how you actually just took that those few bars. I was like, and then after all that, there's a storm coming.
We're gonna be alright.
We're gonna be
We weatherproof.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire. You mentioned your sister and Weatherproof being the strongest person that you know. What is it exactly that's going on with your sister for you actually to deem her be the strongest person?
Well, she's been a real bad diabetic since she was really, really young.
Okay.
And from 11 years old, she's had to, you know what I'm saying, grow up and pretty much learn how to take care of herself and how to, you know, and just pretty much navigate within that. You know, like sometimes she's expressed to me that she feels like she hasn't had to have a regular life. And me on the outside looking in, I feel like that when I look at other people who have what I don't have, and it's just like, but I look at her and I'm like, it ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get through this because you ain't dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I try to be as much of an emotional crutch as I can for people. I know that's not necessarily a good thing to do to yourself all the time, but I try to be there for people who I feel like don't necessarily have that many people in their corner. You know, so, you know, shout out to my sister Dee Dee, man. I love you. And my sister Sophia, both of them, man, they done been through a lot, and it's just the way our family dynamic is we done had to overcome a lot and still got a long way to go. So I just had to shed some light on that, show them some love.
And I'm sure she's very appreciative for that right there. We spoke about Shadowbox throughout this whole conversation, the actual title track, right? Which is something else that I appreciate. It's very rare you get a title track off a project, for a project, right? Which is very reminiscent, very nostalgic-like. I'm curious to know, because of the dynamic of the project, the roller coaster of feels, vibes that you went through, what was the recording order of the 8? What was recorded first? I think you said All Right was first.
All Right was first, and then let me see if I can remember the timeline, because I kind of skipped around, and whenever I felt wishful thinking and All Right were right around. No, actually, wishful thinking was a little bit older. Wishful thinking was a little bit older.
I'm curious to see whether it was 4.
Wishful thinking was older. And that's just how I was feeling at the time, and I felt like it tied in perfectly with the theme of the project at the time.
So these are just different moments. The
Yeah,
first
these are
four
different
wasn't
moments
like
throughout this.
just one
Yeah.
wave. This is how I
Yeah,
felt.
it wasn't like I
recording.
locked in. It was just like, I'm gonna do an album and I'm gonna, and it's just, I'm gonna conceptualize it from here.
Mhm.
It wasn't like that. It was just a series of moments and real emotions I was feeling. And I was just putting it in the music, and it just all came together to tell this story of what I've been dealing with over time. And that's just pretty much how it was. It was like a little time capsule of the last 2-3 years of what I've been dealing with. This is it,
When it comes to promoting your projects, right? Do you prefer the traditional way or this new way of, if you had an opportunity to go check out Kai, to sit down and talk about your project, or you had an opportunity to go sit down with Rap Radar or something of that nature, which route would you prefer? I'm curious because to call those guys the media, I get it.
It's one of those things where if it works type of thing, and you don't necessarily want to like get in your own way with something like that, because it's not necessarily like, I would do the Kai thing, but the Rap Radar thing would be more so of what I would want to do. It's not that I wouldn't do, getting on these live streams and having these conversations, which I feel like when I watch Kai, I don't know how y'all look at it, but it's just like, it's just constant energy, constant crazy. It's entertaining. You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily about what they're actually doing. It's just the fact that, hey, Kevin Hart and Castaneda together. These are just two famous people being in the same
See,
space.
for me, I'm looking at it like, with me, I guess you could say I'm in media. Cool. When you look at it, I feel like, okay, this is watering the Kool-Aid at this point, right? You know what I'm saying? We have the Rob Marksman, the Sways of the world, the Elliott, the B-Dots, and all those. Then we have the Kais. And I understand, because you look at it, it looks as if they're being funneled through Kai at this point, because he's the guy. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand this is where we're going, but let's also make sure that we go over here as well, if it's fitting. So I was just curious about where would people prefer to go.
And I guess I never really looked at what they do as media. I look at it as entertainment. I know that it can be that because that's how it works. You can boost your sales by showing up at Kai's spot.
Absolutely.
But I never really looked at it like media. I think it's just them showing their face in something that's got a lot of energy to it right now. Which, I mean, that's what they're doing when they go to the Breakfast Club and they go to I-97. It is what it is. But I guess I never really framed it like that in my mind to look at it that way.
I guess because I'm in that seat, and that's how I look at it. You understand?
I would much rather do something like this, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Just to get down to the personal, real side of it, without all the antics and extra stuff.
So if Kai sees this, I'm gonna make sure I tell him like Chubby prefers to sit down with people like myself. Like he's gonna pass on.
That don't mean I won't pull up. Though. I definitely pull up.
So all right, so we got shadowboxing, right? You actually answered a lot of questions in regards to your hiatus. You know what I'm saying? And even Issa Rae, which was a dope track with you and Wayne. So you actually started to prep. You started to really show, right? Where do we go after this now? Now that you done emptied out your closet, now you done told us where you were, now we're back to Chubby. Where do we go from this point? Especially if fans say, I like those first 4 songs. Do you dig a little bit deeper than that bag?
With that, I feel like it has to come when it comes. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like you got to get out and live and then come back with some stories to tell. So it's just, I'm not shutting the door to that, obviously. I want people to feel like they know me and that we're on that same, with our level. I want to maintain that. So it'll definitely be more of that in the future, obviously, because I'm going to keep on living. I'm going to keep experiencing things, Life is going to keep changing. So that's definitely on the horizon. But I think after this, I can pretty much go whatever direction I want to. I think that's the beautiful thing about it, because when it came to songs like Nah I'm Straight and 10 Toes, and you know what I mean, it was just, those songs were just as fun to me, you know what I mean, as a Embiid or as a, you know what I mean, like it's just getting in different pockets and experiment. That's what you can expect. Some more experimentation. Y'all just gonna have to grow with me. We're just gonna keep going.
How many songs that you had laid out for this project that did make the project? I would just say, what was the initial number for it? Was it always
I didn't
8?
really have a number. I didn't have a number.
Were there any that didn't make it that you have just sitting off to the side like, I expected this song right here? Because I'm asking because I want to know the tempo.
I've got other songs that I'm sitting on that could have maybe, but it just didn't feel like I needed that. I felt like what I did with shadowboxing was, I felt like it was enough, and it was short enough to where you could lock in and really like on your drive to work, or you just hear a little story about me.
I'm glad
on your
that
drive to work or something
man.
like that. You know what I'm saying? Just something where you don't have to really overcommit and sit there for an hour, 2 hours, 23 songs. It's just because I know how tough that is in this current day and age to sit still for that long.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I get it.
You want to be able to listen to the project going to work. You want to be able to listen to the project at the lunch table. Listen to the project going back home.
Mm-hmm.
If we got to go through the whole joint, like because the writing is on the wall. We're in since that Vine hit.
Attention spans been getting smaller,
Shorter and shorter and shorter.
Like
So
fish in a second.
right, because for me, honestly, my man, I think how many songs Play dropped on that project? God Made Me Wait.
12.
12?
I have to double check.
12. So you like technically, me and Play spoke. That's a double disc right now. Because he told you, right? He told you 2 different sides of a story.
It's crazy.
It's actually crazy.
Yeah, he gave you Act 1 and Act 2.
Act one,
but you
it's
got
a
to
double
think
disc
too.
in my mind.
But some of his records is a minute and 40 seconds.
15.
That too.
15?
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So it's real quick. Like some of them tracks, a minute 50 seconds. A minute 37 seconds.
Seeing songs get shorter, at first it bothered me because like I'm just such a fan of storytelling and you flushing out whatever you're trying to say. But at the same time, it's like there's a lot of songs that you hear a good part and then that second part you don't care for.
You live with that, right?
Now you got that to put on repeat now. You know what I mean? And it's just like
Because sometimes you pushing it.
yeah,
I remember
you
some
are
people.
pushing it.
Yeah, I remember Play told me that one time. He was just like, I ain't got nothing else to say.
Yeah, I'm done.
I said everything.
It's
Like,
over.
and it was it's a simple
Do you know when I saw
answer.
it? You know when I realized it started? It started when Tekashi came into play. Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Mhm.
He had that song, shots, right? High energy song. That joint was a little under 2 minutes.
Yeah,
And I was
Lil
like-
Pump did that too with Gucci Gang. He was the first person I seen really did a song. Like Gucci Gang.
Yeah.
That song like 2
The
minutes.
whole thing.
Right, so like my man told me, Kev from the factory said like, yo, anybody send me 3 songs and 3 hooks, I'm scrapping it. Like, don't send me 3 songs and 3 hooks no more. And I'm like, God damn, Kev, but that's
If you in the club right now, what they do? They play
play the
hook
hot
verse,
part.
verse, and they out.
That's
They
it.
mixing now.
And
They
that's
out.
it.
So you like that formula? 8 songs, 2 minutes. We call it a day.
I think that's a sweet spot. 8 songs is like a sweet spot for me. 7, 8. I feel like it's fair. It's long enough to where you can really say a lot, but you ain't overdoing it the way you know. And it's not like I don't like a full length project.
Yeah.
I'll still listen to a 20-25 song album, but it's
I ain't
just
doing that.
I just gotta listen in chunks.
Yeah. It's
know
gonna
what
be
I'm saying?
that's like
It's gonna
those
be like
long
that.
podcasts.
Mhm.
I'm not listening to 3 hours. We're gonna chop this up for the rest of the week.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like Rotimi, I just saw Rotimi. He's actually releasing a double disc with 25 songs on it. I said, dude, you're not high enough for that. You're not high enough because half of his R&B, half is R&B, half is Afro beats. You're not high enough for that. You're not high enough for that. But he feels that he is, so he's going to run.
We're gonna see.
We're going to see. But y'all, I appreciate your time, man. All right.
Oh,
My man.
Also,
All right. Fair enough.
appreciate you, man.